Hi, I'm Stacey Barr, the Performance Measure Specialist of staceybarr.com. Welcome to Lesson 5 in the 10 Secrets to KPI Success program. Lesson 5 is about why your KPIs just never seem to get off the ground. One of the big struggles with performance measurement, and it's one of the stickiest struggles as well, is when people just won't take ownership of their performance measures. You might have put all the effort into choosing some really good measures, but still people resist wanting to use them or to accept them. They are often scared of how those measures are going to be used and what those measures are going to say. Now, we like to think that we're all about making things better and improving and pursuing performance excellence, but it's not actually the truth. Quite often, a lot of us are very, very scared about anything negative at all reflecting back onto us. So, we'll tend to measure the easy stuff or measure trivial things that aren't really important enough to get anybody's back up. Or we'll measure things that tell the good news story. Now, one of the reasons why this happens is the way we engage people in performance measures. And probably a more accurate thing to say is it's the way we don't engage people in performance measures. It's not enough for a team of experts to go away and design the best set of performance measures for a strategy, for a set of goals, or for a department or a business unit, and then bring those measures back to that team and say, here they are, we've done the good hard work, here's a very sophisticated set of performance measures for you to start using. The people that we want to have use those kinds of measures are just not going to accept them. There really is truth in that adage that when you create something with your own hands, you have true ownership of it. It's an expression of who you are in some small way, and performance measures are no different. I've found that when you involve people in the process of selecting their own performance measures and bringing those measures to life themselves, they have much, much more ownership of those measures. They feel excited about those measures. Now, admittedly, you will have to trade off sophistication of the measures sometimes to get that buy-in. But I think the buy-in is far more important. When you have buy-in, when you have people taking true ownership of their measures, then you've changed them in some way and you've helped them feel a lot more comfortable using information to inform their decision making. You've helped them get closer and closer to this philosophy of continuous performance improvement. When you have that as a foundation, it's much easier for the sophistication of the measures to improve as the people's skill improves. When you start thinking that the foundation's got to be sophisticated measures, it's much, much harder to get to a point where those measures will improve performance, because that lack of buy-in is always going to be a pretty significant obstacle. When you allow people to participate in the process of choosing the measures that are going to be most relevant for them, what you're doing is you're giving them a learning experience. You're giving them an opportunity not just to learn about measurement, but also to learn about the work that they do and the results that they achieve. And that is a very profound experience, and I think that's partly why when people develop their own measures, they truly are measures that those people can feel excited about. To do this, you've got to get out of the way of people's buy-in. It's not something that you can orchestrate, it's not something that you can force to happen. Buy-in is something that just happens naturally when the obstacles are taken away. So a few of the obstacles that you'll need to take away is, number one, make sure that measures are never used to judge people. As soon as they're used to performance manage people, then that will really create a very big barrier to buy-in. Another thing is to make sure that people realize those measures are for them to use. They're tools for them to improve their own processes. It's not about creating measures that will only be reported upwards. Now, in the PUMP methodology, we have an event that's called a measure gallery, and it's an opportunity for a set of performance measures to be socialized. So not everybody is going to have the time to be able to participate in the measure design process, but everybody does have the time to participate in a measure gallery. It's not a presentation, it's not a meeting, it's a much more organic, simple approach that means people could spend as little as a couple of minutes. The time it takes them to go make a cup of coffee, walk into the measure gallery, have a conversation with a few people, look at a few measures, drink their coffee and go back to work. It really is that simple. It's a very powerful event that helps people beyond just those who participated in the measure design to have input and to engage with the measures. Secret number 5 for KPI success is about engaging and involving people in the measurement process, not just consulting them. They need to be able to contribute and to participate in a way that's very natural for them without it feeling forced or contrived or too superficial. Now, your activity for lesson 5 is to take a bunch of existing KPIs or performance measures that you have and just test how much engagement and buy-in there is in those. Find out who participated in creating them. Find out who was able to have input. Find out if it was just a tick and flick sign-off exercise. But test how much buy-in or engagement is in those set of performance measures that you're currently using. Now, in lesson 6, we're going to explore why so many performance measures simply never get brought to life, or if they do, why so many people still distrust them so much. We're going to look at a discipline that is going to save an incredible amount of waste and rework in your reporting processes.